This is your old pal, John Hartt, and let's paint something today. Okay, last time we painted these guys, and in the interim, I cut them out to the shapes, and today I'm gonna put some color on them and bring them to life. So let's go get them. I'm gonna do this guy first. I drew her. You know what? I drew this circular thing in here. I don't know what it is yet. I haven't really thought about it, but let me think. I think before I start, I need to wipe this off. There's a little mud on it. I cut these outside, and I think I threw them on the ground after I cut them. And they're very dirty. Now they're clean. You could eat off them. You don't have to eat off them, though. It's not recommended. So, let me get this baby up. Get one under his nose. I just didn't have very many holding him in place before. I think that was the issue. Let me get one more. I'll put you right there, right through my color chart. All right, let's go painting. And now I just want to get 3 of the blues on my palette, this dark one and this fluorescent blue. I'll just get those 2 to start with. And I want the edge to be nice and dark, so I might as well just paint as much of the side now as I can. And I'll wind up painting the rest of it once it's off the wall. And look at that, I almost used all that glob of paint already. I think what I'm going to do is take some of this. I don't want this. I want this medium. This will thin out the paint and make it wetter longer. So I'm going to try and get a nice glaze over here. And I think I want to wipe a little bit of it off. I want her to be pretty bright. Maybe not as dark as she is in there. So let me just get the dark areas first. Okay, that's most of the dark areas, and I guess down there, it should be dark on the way bottom, right? And I guess dark under here, that's like the shadow from her head, her beautiful round head. And I'm gonna try 2 other colors. I'm going to try this Cerulean blue. This is the one I usually use for sky. I think this will be good. I have to make a decision right quick about what is that thing there. I think it's a metal, but it might be, someone said it could be a clock, like a Flavo Flav clock, and I kind of like that. I might do that. I just don't want to paint numbers. It seems exhaustive and boring. But maybe I could do a clock with maybe like only 1 number on it. A foreboding clock. There we go, get a little white in there, and I'm gonna have the light stuff going down the middle. So if I can get these 2 shades kind of blended there. I kind of want to whiten it up here and lighten it a lot more up here, because I think that's kind of where the light source is. She's looking pretty good. Oh, let me get the bottom too. Same thing. I'm kind of putting on a lot of this this clear stuff, this medium. So it's kind of making it a little more transparent, and you really can't tell because not much of the undercoating is coming through. That's kind of good. I kind of like that big fat kind of under thing here, like it's a ridge going under. And I gotta get more shadow right down there. Make it really dark here. Okay, I'm almost done defining the lights and darks. I think I want you to be much more lighter, so let me get the blue off here and just put some white in the middle. Same thing here. And then I'm gonna kind of blend it into the color next to it. And that's good. But okay, but since I know this is going to be something that's kind of on top of her, I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a shadow. So when we do get to painting it, the shadow is built in. So we got that shadow there, and just kind of fuzzy it out a little bit. That'll be good. I'm actually pretty okay with where this is right now, so I can say stop there. But I won't stop because I just saw something else. I want it super dark under here. Super dark here. But right now, this is I call it what do I call it? I call it the good enough fade, the good enough spot. I could either keep going or it's good enough and I'll stop. And I think that's good enough for now. She has a yellow head. I'm gonna get a yellow palette real quick. Is it yellow? I think she has like a yellow ochre head. Like she has kind of that Caucasian skin color. So that, and she also has very yellow hair. And I'm actually sticking to the colors there. I kind of like that, so. And then she'll have some sort of face on her. Maybe I'll make a creepy face. Or maybe I'll put someone else's face there instead of her face. Or maybe I'll make it an eyeball, because eyeballs are always fun. Oh, the things we can do. The things we can do. Let me get the yellows here. Let me get these blues back in the basket. And I need to get going, because I gotta paint her and I gotta paint these two guys too. But that's kind of the beauty of doing an underpainting first. You have all the shapes and the lines. You've already had them defined, so it's just a matter of playing with crayons and having fun. So, and you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take this big fat brush and kind of just dabble this in a little bit, make it look just a little smooth, but I still have the randomness of the brush strokes without so much sharpness. Maybe. So this is something I would have normally done in oils, and I'm kind of learning this new technique with acrylics to get that smooth thing. And the reason I think most people can't get acrylics to kind of smooth, because you need time to kind of play with it and rub it together, and it dries so quick. But I'm adding a lot of this retarders to it that extend the wetness of the acrylic, and I think I'm finding things. I'm finding ways to make this sing a little bit. I'm kind of happy with that. Let me get a little bit more of this funny blue, and then this funny blue. Actually, I want more of that funny blue. It's kind of a nice funny blue. And I'm just going to take this big fluffy-ish brush and kind of, that is so wet. So she's good for now. And now, she's good for now. All right. Moving on, yellow palette. I always kind of switch, keep the colors on separate palettes because I'm very messy sometimes. I'm always really messy. So, let's see. Let's give her a little bit of a pinky tinge to her skin. So let's get a little bit of this projector. A little bit should be enough. We don't need that much. I need to. I feel like I'm kind of being clunky today. I'm kind of bumping into things. Alright, so kind of think I want. No, I don't want any brownish colors in there. I'll go super bright, and when I want to dull them down, I will. So I just kind of want to identify where the dark areas are and the shadows are. Right here with our good friend. This was like, everyone knows some version of this toy. These guys are called Little People, and I think this kind of version is like the really old version. But anyway, this was, I think, this is the one I remember seeing, always identified as like the mom. Because I think that's what moms used to look like back in the 60s, perhaps. Okay, got that dark. Now let's see, I'm gonna add this yellow ochre. Ooh, that's kind of a nice color. I like how they mix together. Okay. I'm just gonna work this a little more. So this actually is gonna be, that's gonna be the back of the hair, but I'll actually get a little darker. Get that big fat shadow up there. I need a little thing to, I'm gonna call that stuff like goop. It's not goop. Thinner, maybe. That's it. I don't like using the word retarded. But, okay, I need it darker here. Looks like we got a funky looking head. And right now, all I'm doing is I'm drawing a sphere. I'm painting a sphere. Got the light source kind of coming from the top, a little bit from the left. And this is going to be right here, where that line is. That's like a shadow from the hair, which is actually way too much of a shadow. The shadow from the hair needs to be a thin line. Pay attention to what you're doing, Johnny. That's what I've been told. Now get more wet. Oops, I'm dripping. It's like, I need to wash this off. I need to change this water. It's very blue, and I know it'll go into this color, so I'm going to change it quick and be back. It has a good color to it. I like it. So, alright. Get back in the clean brush club, or somewhat clean brush club. This is kind of a messy thing. Well, I'm really messy about it anyway. Alright, right now I'm just trying to meld these, you know, it's kind of get those two colors doing their thing. And same thing up here, more white, and see if I can kind of just work the white out so it goes into the yellow ochre. I think it's fun. Pretty good with that. All right, a little more dark here, I think. Do the mixing thing here. I think that's pretty good. I like that. And I kind of like that weird red shadow color. So, makes her look goldeny. I don't know. Okay, I have some yellow on here too. I'm going to give this woman some yellow ass hair. Man, that's yellow. I'm going to do some yellow ochre on the side. I think I'm also going to need some burnt umber just for the dark spots. I don't want to use the same darkener I did on the head. I just want to make sure it's differentiated. Get some more of this. That's the yellow, and I want a little bit of the burnt umber here. Burnt umber. I just filled you up. There you are. Ooh, and it smooched out. That's right, I'll use the burnt umber there, maybe. I'm thinking about doing these guys green. We shall see. We shall see. I'm kind of putting a thinner coat of this on. I kind of can still see, you know, where things are supposed to be dark and where they're not supposed to be dark. Like, it's supposed to definitely be dark back here and back here. That's pretty good. Bloop, bloop. And I could probably also put something inside there to make it even darker, like a little bit of green, which might be too much. Let me get her head up here too, because I feel like, there we go. Alright, that looks more realistic there. Realistic, I don't think realistic is the word. Believable is the word. I want someone to look at that and believe that that could happen in space. In a space. I guess that's kind of what we're doing a lot of times, just defining a 3D space onto a 2D space. Let's see, I want some highlights in there. Oh my god, I put so much brown on this palette, it's just creeping over everything else. Alright, she has a nice plastic hair. And let's give it a little bit of reflection here too. More. I kind of like that, even though it's really not too much. Alright, I'm going to put this dark red in here. That's okay, it doesn't jive 100%. Oh, I should be talking about what I'm gonna do here. It's something, you know what I was thinking of doing, and I won't because it's involved. I was thinking of doing that, like cutting that out and then putting like a magnifying glass of sorts over it and then paint something in the back. I don't know how that would work. I'm sure it'd be cool. Just like everything else, you just gotta do it. I'm putting a little bit around the edges to define where her head is. Just a thin line, and this is kind of thin in paint too. It's a little thinned out. Well, the paint underneath it is so thin, that's why it's that looks good. What am I painting in the middle? 1, 2, 3, 4, put some paint on there and find out what happens. Okay. Brown, this is brown. I don't want it to be brown. Unless it's a big meatball. That's a spicy meatball. Get something right on here. It could be just a metal. A metal. What is round? Meatball. I don't want a brown thing. What is brown? What is no? Let's put some red in there. Maybe something will come. Maybe I should do a squiggle. Ooh, that looks like a. That looks like a. That looks like a. It's fine. I see something going on there. That looks like some kind of symbol. But, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Sometimes it just happens, and sometimes I get caught in my head. I don't know why I'm caught in my head right now. But this is, the colors are working out good. Maybe I'll just do something so vague. Everyone's gonna be like, what is that? And that's probably what I'm gonna do. I think that's what I'm gonna do here. So, it almost looks like something. It's like a Christmas ball, but I don't want it. I want it to be. All right, I'm gonna add some highlights. I don't have any white on this one. Oh, I do, but it got usurped by the brown. I don't know what's going on there. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna move on to the next thing because I'm kind of stuck and I'm stuck. I'll come back to this. Let's try some thinner, some white. I have my yellows on a different palette. God, I've been using the magenta so much lately. Let's just play with orange. All right, let's stick with orange. I got a bunch of oranges here. I got cat. I got this Indian yellow, which I love, and this organic orange, which looks very much like safety orange to me. So let's use this safety orange and do a thin glaze over everything, and it's going to be super diluted. And this is, the messy water is close enough to. Okay, so let's get this kind of orangey looking. We can still see what's underneath, so that's kind of where I'm going with this. Let's get the orange vibe. I did wipe these off. There was still some schmutz on here, but I do not care. Yeah, that's a pretty orange. If I was a goldfish, I'd like to do that kind of orange. Alright, just a little bit here, but I do want some of my Indian yellow on there because I think it makes things glowy. And I need something dark, cadmium red. And then I'm gonna go whole hog, knock these two out as quick as I can, and then come back to Girly and figure out what's around her neck. That looks like an ancient something. Let's see how the film. This red isn't gonna be what I want it to be. Okay, I'm just getting the darks there. And I'm going to do both these at the same time. Let me get this. Oh, he's going to be a little redder on this side instead of orange, but that's okay. So it's nice. I kind of got base color defined. I kind of did a little something funky here. When I cut this out, I didn't cut it on that shape. I don't know why I thought that would be a better shape, but I hope it is. And you see, this just has a few thumbtacks in it. It seems to be working out pretty good. I want to get... That's a nice color. That it is still kind of pale orange, but it works out pretty good. I like it. I like how that looks. And let me see how it looks with a little... There we go. That Indian yellow right between. That is like a good transition. Let's see if I can do that over here. So I have... Let's see. This is my transition. It's going to be from the cadmium red down here, which is the dark area, to this bright orange. I think they called it pyrrole orange. Pyrrole. Let's get dark down here. And then I want to get some white up here to get that pale. Ooh, that is too much thinner, but that's okay. Yeah, that's better. Get that pale kind of orangey look. And then we'll get much more white in there. Remember where things are, things that are sticking out are whiter, right? So that's kind of whiter. It'll be, I think there'll be like little, like wiggly ridges on the fins. I don't know if that's what they're called, wiggly ridges. I just call them wiggly ridges. So there's a wiggly ridge, there's a wiggly ridge, there's a wiggly ridge. There's a wiggly ridge, and there's a wiggly ridge. And hopefully that translates okay. And here's just, I'll put a little bit of orange there to kind of define the darker a little better. Doesn't have to be a big difference. You probably see it already, the difference between the high and the low. So I'll get those wiggly areas. I'll let them sit for a while, get them a little dry. I'll do the same thing here. Let's see, white up here. There's too much red in there. Oh, the yellow. I like the yellow. Let's go with the yellow. Isn't that a nice glowy color? Oh, I love that. See if I can kind of get that. Maybe that's what I'm looking for in the fins. That kind of works. Get a little bit on there and just kind of get a brushy feel to it. Dude, I think that's the way that's supposed to be. Let's do the same thing over here. Get some golden color on there. His is a little different. His isn't as big, but I don't think it's really a contest. These guys seem nice enough. They look creepy with their noses, but I think we can de-creepify them a little bit. Not too much, just a little bit. So I think like now, I'm just kind of going back and forth with the lights and the darks and trying to push out what needs to be pushed out and what needs to be pushed back. So I'm getting the feel, and the colors are working. I like this color combination. I think we'll get you considerably lighter all the way up to here. So, loosey-goosey, look at me getting loose. Loose is forever. Let's get where you at. Yeah, I can get you up there too. Alright, I'll get some more white up here. But you know what? I feel like I need to start defining the edges, and I want to define the edges with the darker color. And I think that darker color is going to be the magenta. That's how you make decisions. You keep talking until the answer comes out your mouth. magenta. All right. It's a pretty, you know, that cad looks nice, but it's pretty, but it's really not dark enough, so. All right, we like our smiles. Yeah, I bet you guys on camera can see right there just the difference this color shift is doing. Okay, getting super loosey-goosey. I think when I start trying to be too exact, that's when the painting almost always goes south. Let's see if I can do this a little quicker here. And this is going to be dark up here between the ridge. Yeah, you can see right now it's already popping out. So. And you hear that so much when people start talking, oh, the artist really makes it pop out, but that, I think that's kind of the best description sometimes. I'm sure there's like a more technical term that most people could use, but you make it pop out. Put those lights next to the darks, man, it makes it pop out. Put those complementary colors next to each other, makes it pop out. Let's see, this is going to be the dark area. The down is the dark, the up is the light. Down, dark. Oh, that'd be a good way to remember how to do these folds and ridges. Down, dark. I did it backwards. I did down light. Whatever. Oh, good matter. It does now. Oh, I guess it depends on your perspective. Down could be up and up could be down, so it doesn't really matter. I need this on my shoulder, that's what I need it. Alright. And this I think is going to be really golden here because it's kind of facing upish, I think, for the most part. So I'll make it golden and glowy. No. Oops, that's not white, that's just nothing. That's white. Alright, let's decide which one is up. Man, there's a big piece of something in here. Okay, that's kind of looking right. It kind of looks like a goldfish thing. While I'm doing this, I still need to keep a good thought on what to do there. And when it comes down to it, it might just be a metal. He's still kind of, Flavor Flav's still kind of a socially active. I see mention of him in like things. I don't really pay attention to like Hollywoodish stuff. Well, that's cool. I never knew. I guess he was a rapper. And what little I paid attention to, it seems like he was kind of a joke. But I guess if you can fly, be that generous, being a joke isn't a big problem. Or maybe I just wasn't in the know of this guy. That's good. I kind of like that. I'm going to go a little bit more here and a lot more there. more white, more white. That's what I want to do. I'm done there. Okay, let me do the same thing over here. Okay, I'm kind of done there. Let me get my bigger, fatter brush out. Let's see, let me get some more Indian yellow. Wonder Woman. That's like a Wonder Woman thing. It looks like something a superhero would wear, or an anime guy would wear. That gives him special powers. See, that's so nice. It's dry underneath, and you kind of get over with a thin coat. It gives it a nice glowy glaze. I can tell you what, I'm cutting really super loose, and I'm really happy just kind of just keeping these like really loose brush strokes in there, because they're just helping to define whatever I'm trying to say. That's good. Good enough. What's on there? A little bit of white. Let's go a little bit more white back here. And I think back here I'm going to kind of do some more of that yellow, because the yellow is so beautiful. So beautiful. You yellowy bitch, you're so beautiful. See how you kind of do that, and you can kind of see how it looks like the 3D. Just doing light, dark, light, dark. You can meld you in just a little bit. Okay, I think that captures the essence. Let's move up here, get the, because the sun's coming from the top, so I'm going to make it kind of more lighter up top. Unless he's upside down, but he can't be upside down. I don't think fish can be upside down. There's got to be like an upside down fish somewhere. I'm going to move to a smaller brush here. Alright. Kind of doing a loose jiggly thing here. I think that's good enough to help the viewer know that it's still orange up here, even though there's such a bright highlight. Alright, a bit of white there. It's got a cheek. Yeah, that's really creepy, Mr. Creepy Fish. Yes, I'm Mr. Creepy Fish. Oh, look at you. Let's get some more down there, and I'm going to do a little bit more. I think I have enough yellow in the tail, so I'll just do that. That's good enough. And some white, some white, some Wait. Okay, that's good. That's good. Let me get a little bit of yellow there. A little yellow here. Let's get that mouth just like that. The nose like that. Okay. I can put just a little bit of a, good, that's just a little bit more of a welcoming expression. And if I can fuzz this out so it doesn't look like the whole thing's in a socket. Okay, a little bit of yellow here. Oh, that's a muddy yellow, man. Clean up your brush, Johnny. That's muddy, 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 muddy. Let's try it again. So nice. So nice. Down there. Let me just get a little darker here. Oops, wrong one. Darker, 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 darker. And do the lighter. Lighter, 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 lighter. Lighter, 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 lighter. Lighter, okay. And then we want to make it yellower. Need a bigger brush. There you are. Probably as dirty as I get, but I can make you work. Okay, that looks okay-ish. Just put a little bit more here. You need a little bit more definition going on there. You're just too damn light down there, mister. And some more orange. And I feel like I need a lot more dark in the bottom. And then we could be almost done. Oh no, what am I gonna put there? It could be this could be a disaster of sorts. What could we do? If I was a child's plaything and I had something around my neck, what, hanging around my neck, or maybe not hanging, coming out of my chest. Maybe that's what it is. We can go in some dark territory. Like a, am I gonna have to put an eyeball on her? I think I am. God, I want to be done, but I need to put an eyeball on her. Okay, let's just get a little highlight on the nose, highlight, right. Highlight on that lip, highlight on that lip. That's too much highlight. So just the right amount, darkness underneath. Okay. Let's see. Let's kind of disconnect here. Yeah, if I want, I could do those exact type of ruffly things on the top fins too. I think that's good enough. Let me get some more orange here. Is this? That's the organic orange. Let me try some of the cad. I haven't had any cadmium. It's a little clogged, but it's also a little, it's kind of a little less brilliant than the other orange, but I know it's very opaque. So, but it's closer to cadmium. It's closer to Indian yellow. Look at that. All my sloppy painting. Okay, here's the... Yeah, that works good together, the cad and the organic orange, or the pyro orange. I don't even know what I called it. I didn't call it. Somebody else named it. You know, I could do this for hours, just go over with darks and lights until it's just like the perfect amount of contrast, but we'll have the adequate amount of contrast. And we'll get a little bit highlightier up here. And this guy. Dude, I could do this for hours. Alright, I'm done with these guys. I am going to put a face on her, I believe. Oh, Johnny, what are we going to put in the middle? I'll put an eyeball. I'll put an eyeball.
Or a skull of death.
A skull of death? Yeah, I'll put a skull of death. Thank you. Good choice. Let's see, I'll put just a drop. And children, this is how you turn a shiny, not so shiny metal into a skull of death. Okay, I do need a littler brush for the skull of death. Thank you. Alright, before we do a skull of death, let's define the tone. Okay, I like her traditional happy face. That's one, and she has a funny nose. It goes like this, it goes. Oh. Uh-oh, I feel like I didn't center it. I want to center it. I'm going to erase your funny nose, little girl. No, I'm gonna put the other eye in and then center the nose between. Okay, this will be better. Yeah, I made a... Let's see, so this is about equidistant from the edge as that one, but we'll play. Kind of, sort of, maybe she's looking a little bit to her left. I could put, like, mean eyes on her with the skull of death. Here we go. And then, I really should be using a littler brush that is less raggedy, but, and let's see. I guess the mouth goes, wee. She looks a little like creepy, like, oh, this isn't a real good smile. It's not a smile. It's like she's holding back, right? And then it has a little smile doohickey there. Yeah. But you know, I have all these brushes down there. They're brand new. I don't want to take them out because they're going to be like this in one sitting. So I feel like I have to get my money's worth out of. That's good. I like that she has kind of a raggedy thing. It kind of gives her a little personality. Yeah, she's not as... And then the nose is like that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, good enough. All right, skull of death. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is how you paint a skull of death. Fine. You find the Skull of Death brush. I think I got it. I think I got it right here. The Skull of Death brush. Well, let's see. I think the Skull of Death should be mostly gray and white, but I'm going to put some magenta in there too because this is... Because you know what this is starting to look like? It looks like that Steal Your Face skull from the Grateful Dead. But I'm going to hang like skull. Yeah, so... It looks like a little, I don't know, a mushroom or something. Alright, so let's see. You know what? I'm going to erase that because I don't agree with that. If you're the Skull of Death, for crying out loud, let's see. Let's find the center, Mr. Skull of Death. That's it. You're the Skull of Death. You see? That's the Skull of Death. He's coming to life. I know what the Skull of Death is now. Skull of Death does not have a dividing line. He might. Oh. Alright, goodbye, Wonder Woman symbol or whatever that was. Let me get some white on there. And I'm just doing black and white now, but... Okay. So let's see. Okay, I should have handed this guy. This is a little smaller. I can make this happen. Oh no, it's too wet. There was a big thing of wetness in there. Ugh. Maybe he won't be the Skull of Death. Maybe he's starting to look like a puppy dog. A puppy dog Skull of Death. And then, let me just define this so I know what I'm doing. Okay. They seem like Skull of Death eyes, right? You see, the Skull of Death is pretty handsome chap, actually. Hello, Mr. Skull of Death. You're looking fine today. And I really do need a smaller brush. Oh, I did get one. I'm gonna add just a little bit of blue to this. Maybe that's too much. Not gonna overthink it. Or just a thing. Let's see. Yeah, I'm putting a little blue in there, not too much. Okay, that's already looking pretty creepy and cool. Right? Yeah, he's looking pretty good. Mr. Skull of Death, how do you do? Oh man, look at you, Mr. Skull of Death. Put more white up there. See how it's kind of looking more and more 3D once I kind of put a little bit of highlights in select places. And I swear to God, I feel like the bigger the brush I use, the more detail I'm finding, I'm realizing. Okay, you see, it's pretty good. I'll get a little bit of dark down there, and then let's spread it out some. Yeah, this looks like so many other, like, pop culture skull symbols. I'm seeing, I don't even know what I'm seeing. I'm seeing something like from a comic book I've seen. I'm seeing something, I'm seeing a lot of stuff, but I don't know what that most looks like. Or maybe I just, no, I don't want to use purple. I just want a little bit of this blue. Throw some blue accents on him. And I'll also, no, I don't want blue accents. I have blue accents because I left so much on there. And that's good. Okay, good enough. I don't want to overdo it. So what I'm going to do now, I need to end this painting because I've been doing it for, God knows, it seems like 4 weeks now. So I want that kind of little kind of shadowy thing. So I've got it a little bit defined. It seems like too much there, so I'm going to just kind of fuzzy it out a little bit. All right. So that was a thin layer of paint, and now I'm just kind of going over with like kind of water on the brush and soaping it away. And now that has to be attached to her somehow. So let me get a really thin bit of paint here. If I could do a line with this fat brush. It's not like centered, but whatever, if I was. It's good enough to me. So now let's see if we can really make this look like a piece of string. If I can just a little bit of, give that string a 3D look, if that makes sense. That's good. And that's kind of what I'm learning. I'm doing this really loose, but if I put details in one spot, 1 or 2 spots, people think the whole thing is detailed. Because I did that the other night. I said, oh, I'm going to put a little detail right here. And 5 people after me when I was painting in public said, oh, it's so detailed. I'm like, wow, I just taught myself a lesson. Okay, what am I doing? I'm doing a little bit of a shadow here. See, it looks like a shadow. Good. And I'm trying to wash it off with a super dirty cloth. But let's call that done, dude. That was a good idea. What is this guy? Tell me his name again. The evil man of death. The skull of death. The skull of death. The evil man of death. All right. Sometimes I just need to be told what to do. Jason, how is your skull of death today? I kind of like how that turned out. That's funny. As an artist, you kind of start painting the same things over and over. And to me, it's like, you learn how to paint things. I know how to paint a skull. I know how to paint an eyeball. I know how to paint a balloon. I know how to paint this food. I know how to paint glass. It's like all these things. I feel like I know how to paint things. Where was I going? And I know how to paint skulls, but this is a kind of a different kind of a skull, and I'm really glad I went that way. And that's the magic of art sometimes. If you give yourself creative rein to play with things, and it's just a good journey. So I love my skull. That is all of a sudden the highlight of this painting. I love this, man. So what did we learn tonight? I feel like I learned how to paint a skull a little bit differently. I really like that. I like the big round bulbous head. It's kind of like an alien skull. And I still, if I want to, I still have room to put an eyeball there. But he is the skull of death, and the skull of death needs no extra eyeball. So this was a fun project, guys. Last week I did the underpainting. I defined the shapes and just the dimensions of it. Cut out the pieces of wood, and I just added color today. I played around with the highlights and the darknesses to define these fins and what's going on here, and I learned how to paint the skull of death. So that was the big takeaway from today. But thanks for checking in, guys. I appreciate it. I love sharing what I do, and I hope if you like to do this too, you share it too. So guys, keep creating, keep painting, and keep cool.